This is Boxing Tickets NI. We're joined with the mighty Celt, Tyrone McKenna. How are you, Tyrone?
All good. Just down in Dublin, bored as usual. Training from a big fight in 3 weeks.
Just under 3 weeks, 18 days today.
Well, hey, well, who's keeping track? Obviously you, not me. But it
What's the weather like down in Dublin today?
was unbelievable. It was sunny. That's what I was looking at. It's cloudy now, but it was unbelievable earlier. But I literally don't go outside. I just be sitting in my room playing Call of Duty and doing interviews. It seems.
You, I've been noticing recently on social media, you've been flat out at Call of Duty. Are you any good at it?
Wouldn't say I'm all right. I'm not terrible, but I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm good. I'll stick to boxing. That's
I
more or
think
less
my
it.
pro-
How easy would life be if you were a pro gamer? Just sit and play games all day. Fucking hell, that's the dream.
it's unreal. I remember seeing a guy from it was Belfast last year that was making crazy money out of it. And, I'm not sure what it
No,
was like for you at school, but I used to call people who were into gaming nerds. And the nerds have
no.
taken over the world now. They're making all the money.
I keep on. I keep on. My missus keeps on. Oh, we'll bring him into sports. We'll bring McKinnon into sports. I say no. Get him glued to that PlayStation.
Yeah,
He's getting us.
it'd be definitely brilliant now. I guess obviously leading up to the fight for you here, you've obviously wanted the Howard Davis fight for quite a while. With obviously everything going through with COVID, haven't seen so much needle, so to speak, in the build-up. Does it sort of play into your hands a bit that you're not really paying any attention to him?
That's not even that. I think it's because of all the Corona and COVID-19 shit that it hasn't been as much of a build up as it deserved. And then obviously you can't go to like have interviews. You're not having as much interviews or much interaction with the media anymore because of the restrictions and stuff. So I don't think it's getting. And then he just went completely saying he's a new O'Hara Davies. He's humble OD, so he hasn't even given me shit. I'm hardly going to start slobbering him on. It's not even slobbering to me. So
I just
so it's
sort
all
of
on camera. But I believe Fight Week will be exciting.
it's
Surely.
I guess it's sort of sometimes it plays into your hands. Obviously, O'Hara's had a
I
couple of
I
O'Hara's had
like
a couple of run-ins fight camp with obviously some sparring partners and things. So
yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that. That's just stupid. Well, I heard that I've heard about a million stories actually, to be honest. So I think it's just stupid getting in then kind of altercations before a massive fight, and even like going publicly about it and stuff. I think it's very bizarre. And also he knows he's fighting me, and then he's trying to get a fight with Anthony Fowler and stuff. His head isn't in the game for like isn't in his head isn't in my fight. It's elsewhere. It's fighting not the Albanian fighter. I forget his name. Or Anthony Fowler having a Twitter war with him. He's not concentrating on the right stuff, which does lean in my favor and makes me more confident because he's either overlooking me or just simple.
and obviously I know Jamie obviously in the last MTK show was saying obviously no crowd could probably play in your favour because you like to play up to the crowd. You've always been a fan favourite and I'll go into a 2-2 war. So you'll not hear so many voices in the background going, log him, Tyrone.
That's it. I like Pete Taylor's buzzing that that there is no crowd. Obviously I love a crowd. I love my crowd going and supporting me and getting me into wars. But thankfully there is no. I think it really does benefit me. Even in amateur days when I used to fight in club shows, the place was packed. I used to fight terrible, and then when I went to All Ireland's, when there was not that much people at the crowd, I used to box unbelievable. Or the competitions abroad, I box unbelievable because there was no one make me go into a war. I'm too easily led. Uh, I'm a, I fight for the fans always, and if the fans want a war, I'll give them a war every single time. And I think with no crowd here, I'll be listening to Pete a lot more. I've been boxing the instructions. Even in sparring, if you see me in sparring, I'm a completely different fighter than the way I fight. So yeah, I think this is going to be beneficial massively.
Fingers crossed. Obviously, we having your run-ins wasn't it your call and stuff as well. You know, in the car park. The Coogan sort of kept off camera. I'm sure everybody wanted to see what was going on off camera, but I guess sometimes it's probably adds to the hype more for the fight.
Fair fucks the Coogan. He could have sat there and recorded, but he threw his expensive camera to the ground to break it up before it got a lot worse.
Yeah, because it obviously could have led into, you know, if it had been like the Joe blogs and Street just decided to video it, you know, you could probably have lost your license.
I was going to go down that route, but luckily Coogan intervened at the right time.
Going back to his old bodyguard days when he was with Hatton.
Was he a bodyguard?
Before he done AFL, he was one of Ricky Hatton's security.
Really? I didn't know.
Fighting the knowledge I am. So you've actually last month. Is it hard to believe that you're now a pro 8 years?
I know. It was the 18th of August.
18th of August.
Yeah, I remember that day for some reason. 8 years. Didn't know it was 8 years. That's a long time. Like, but the first, I'd say three years was, I wouldn't even count as a pro because it was so on and off and didn't know what was happening. So I always disregard them years until I really, I think, came home and started boxing regularly. And then my career started progressing then. And obviously when I signed with MTK, it snowballed from there and my career's flew since then. I think, when was it? I was 2016, I think. So the last 4 or 5 years.
UK debut February 2015 in Devonish.
Yeah, so since then, the last 5 years, that's what I count my real pro. When I started to really get into it, like before then, even in America and stuff, it was stopping and starting, and then I wasn't taking it serious. It was half-heartedly training, and it was eating shit and stuff, and wasn't taking anything serious. I didn't really think a career would even progress. Back then, I just thought, fuck, I'm doing it for the fun. But obviously, we're here now, and things have worked out better
They
than
definitely
I
have. You know, obviously you fought in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, before obviously coming home. But obviously, you know, since you've come home, it's really kicked on. You know, Devonish, and then obviously we're straight away. You know, what was it? The first Fearless show, 2015. Tommy McCarthy headlined.
It was a good show. Good show.
So obviously then you started building up, you know, fighting Cardiff 2016. Then obviously you won the BUA Celtic title against Sean. I can never pronounce his last name.
Gray. See, that's when my career really started. When I fought Sean Gray. Before then, it wasn't really known. No one really gave a shit about who was fighting or what was happening. From that fight, people started taking notice. And then from that fight, the next fight, it just kept on building on. Jay Connie, Ronald Garrido, Anthony Upton, and then it just kept getting bigger and bigger. And then obviously when I fought Jack Catterall, everyone thought it was just this mouthpiece couldn't box because I hadn't beat anyone really. And I think that night I proved that I was not only a mouthpiece but a good box and entertain. And people started taking notice of who Tyrone McKenna was, and that it wasn't just some idiot that was going to go away after a year or two.
You sort of touched on this or what I was going into next. You know, for the Upton and Jack Catterall cards, you know, how difficult was it with changing opponents? You're obviously supposed to fight Tommy Coyle, and obviously Phil Sutcliffe Jr. as well before the fights were.
It was Sutcliffe both times there.
Sutcliffe.
It was.
Did you know Tommy Coyle for one as well?
I was Ronald Greedle.
Greedo, that was a unification.
But yeah, do you know what? Again, I was like I already experienced that with Ronald Greedo, so the Tommy Coyle pulled out 2 weeks before. I don't think a late change opponent means anything really. It just means if you're a good boxer, if you're an adjective boxer, if you've got a good boxing IQ and a good boxing brain, you don't really be worried about that because you're going to figure out your fighter in the first round. You're going to figure them out pretty quickly. And if you don't, then you aren't a good boxer. So I was never worried about the change of opponents. Obviously, Jack Carroll is a massive step up compared to who was originally supposed to be fighting, Phil Sutcliffe. But even then, I wasn't too worried because I don't know. I just never worry about fights. I mean, I love fighting at the end of the day, and whoever's put in front of me, I think it's going to be the same feeling, same everything. So, no, changing opponents don't really matter to me. Even this competition, you didn't know who you were fighting in the quarters, you didn't know who you were fighting in the semi, so you had that layout as well where you didn't know who you were fighting. Um, you had to adapt straight away, and something you're used to from the amateurs.
And I think obviously the good thing with the Jack Carroll fight, sometimes people are too scared of losing for the first time. With the Carroll fight, I think, a lot was shown to you, and obviously that fight, you were down twice, and Jack obviously had a point taken off for hitting on the ground, but you showed great heart to come back, obviously, after being put down. So, from that defeat, you've obviously learned well from it as well.
Yeah, see, I was a bittersweet defeat because obviously no one wants to lose a row, no one wants to get beat, but the notoriety I got from my fight and the fans that I got from that fight and from being so entertaining, being so ballsy, and getting up above the canvas and bringing Jack Carroll, who's rated #1 in the world, to 1 point. There was only 1 point in the fight, so I don't think people thought that much of me until that fight, and I gained a lot of respect of people, and I think I stamped my name in UK and Ireland boxing that night, and I think people started taking notice, and I think my career has really progressed. Since then, I've learned a lot.
The obviously afterwards from that, you'd obviously then sort of come back fight with Lewis Vincent in Glasgow, where you obviously get quite a lot of abuse and obviously the decision. I think a couple of fights recently you've had quite a bit of abuse on decisions, but I think sometimes you've loved the abuse because you can play to it because obviously what you've done in the fight.
Yeah, I don't know, man. See abuse, you're going to get that. Even if you batter someone for 10 rounds, you're going to get abuse. The internet has been made for people to troll and abuse. You're not going to go on the internet on YouTube and say nice things about someone. 90% of the comments are going to be someone abusing you. So I'm well used to it. Even though all my YouTube videos, people are abusing me. So it's nothing new to me. People can have their views if they think Mamoon won, if they think ban someone or whoever won. That's their view. There's people ringside, they got paid for their views, and they thought I won the fight. I'm not going to argue with them. Also, people are constantly going on about robberies and he got robbed because their guy didn't win.
Yeah.
Listen, at the end of the day, a lot of fights that they're calling robberies are very, very close fights. The way they're scored, they're 10-9 every round. It doesn't matter if one round's a landslide, one round's close. It's 10-9 no matter what. So they're saying me in 6 rounds that are close could have went either way, and I got them. And he and Mamoon or Benson maybe got a landslide round here or there, and they think, oh fuck, he battered him around, he won the fight. That's not the way boxing works. And people need to realize a robbery is someone getting beat up every single round badly and then getting beat, and that didn't happen in any fight I've had.
Yep, and obviously, I'm nearly forgetting. Obviously, your probably career highlight to date. Obviously, from speaking to Stephen Ward last week, he said he was the main event in Ulster Hall. What was your thought on it?
I don't care. I don't really care about that.
Obviously, you beaten Dara Foley for the WBC International. It's strange sometimes to find two people in the same stable with the same belt, and obviously you and Tommy Mack, both obviously have the belt, so keeping it within the West.
That's it. He had to relinquish his one there,
Yeah.
but It's just weird because I won an Irish title, and then a year later, Tommy won an Irish title. And then I win the WBC, and he wins the WBC a year later. I really think he's just trying to beat me. Honestly, like I'm going to win this golden contract, and next he's going to try and get fucking this golden contract. But yeah, do you know what? It's great. It's great to have someone that you've been in boxing with since you're 11 years old, and you're doing everything together. You're winning all Irelands together. You're traveling around the world together. We're now in the same stable down here together. We're winning the same belts. We're top 15 in WBC together. So it's nice to have someone go through that with you, for your career.
And obviously, it's got to be a big buzz at the minute as well. We obviously Tommy penned in his EB European fight as well.
Yeah, he's buzzing. He can't wait. I mean, he's raring to go. He's down in Dublin training away, waiting for the date. And I mean, he deserves it. He's had a hard career. He's had some tough defeats, and he's came back. He bounced back, and went to Italy, fought their champion, and beat him in their home soil. I mean, that was a massive deal. And then to come home a champion is just shows you the balls and the charisma and the talent that Tommy has. And I believe no one's seen the best of Tommy. I think his partnership with Pete Taylor will bring out the best of him, and it's bringing out the best of me myself as well. So, yep, excited for the future.
I was sort of saying the Sean last week, obviously, with you and Tyrone obviously leaving and Paddy retiring, and obviously he's moving away from Danny. You know, was he sort of missing it? But he's just saying, you know, he's got a job to do, sort of thing. Do you miss the sort of crack you had there with Sean and Camper?
Sean's a legend. I mean, I love Sean. I still talk to him most days. But yeah, I mean, Camp at one stage it was me, Sean, Paddy, and Tyrone, and the camp was just a fucking laugh. It was you wouldn't even call it camp. It was just funny as fuck. So you do miss that sometimes, but I mean, I still have it down here with obviously this camp's been completely different because no one's with me. But usually I have Tyrone, I have Tommy, we still have the crack and whatnot. But I'm sure Sean's lonely over our way.
And he's obviously going to be a daddy before the end of the year as well, so obviously it might calm him down a wee bit.
He's been kept busy, all right.
What did you make of his ring walk?
Fuck me. I swear to God, I've watched it about 100 times. It was the best ring walk I've ever seen. I wish there was a crowd there to go with it, but because it would have been 10 times better, everyone chanting that.
He was saying obviously that he was on the bike or something in the gym, and somebody messaged him looking for the music, and it came on the iPod shuffle, and he thought, I'll just send that.
Did he? Is that how?
As he said, he said just come on shuffle on the iPod, and he said he just sent it across, and I think he said he was really the one that knew before he came out to do the ring walk. I thought it was Lee Eaton all over. You know, when I asked him the question, I thought maybe that's something Lee's put him up to, but he said it was his own doing.
Nah, I'd be Sean all over, definitely.
I want to touch back, obviously, a wee bit. The Mighty Celt, or the Celt, obviously comes from your childhood days of being an actor.
Indeed.
I know some articles and stuff you've written in the past, you're sort of saying if you wanted the easy approach in life, obviously you could have stayed as an actor. You obviously had the chance potentially for Game of Thrones and stuff when it first started as well. Any regrets, sort of, or is it now with the golden contract pretty much nearly finished off? Were the right decision you made?
I don't think there's any regrets because acting's a hard game as well. Like it's kind of like boxing where you don't know what's going to happen from one day to another, or when you're going to get your next big job or anything like that. So I don't think there's regrets. I think at 20 years older, 19, I don't know when it was, I stopped boxing and I had 1 or 2 years of drinking like fucking and being a teenager or a young kid. And I decided, look, you're very good at acting, you're very good at boxing. You have to choose one here because you're not going to be drinking and your life away and going. That would be me feel regret if I had just kind of continued to do that. But I said to myself, right, you're getting sick of this life. Either you have boxing you can go to, or you can go to acting. And I thought acting you can pick up any age. Boxing you have a small window. So I said to myself, look, I'll try my best at boxing, see how far I can get, and if that fails, then we'll try acting.
You
And
suddenly fall back on again.
it seems boxing going pretty good, so I made the right choice.
Fingers crossed it stays that way as well.
Okay.
The Another thing I also want to touch on, where did the obsession with tattoos after wins come from?
I don't know. I just see. It's not even because it's just after wins. It's during camp you can't get them because you can't train with a tattoo, or it's really slow when you get them. Like so, you'd have to be able to train for a couple of days, and I can't really afford that. So after fights, I just go straight to the tattoos and book in for a few tattoos. But I love them. I need a lot more, but you don't have much time to get them till your next fight.
And obviously leads me on to the next thing, the dares with Tyrone. Have you finished it? Have you called it quits now, or is it still going to carry on?
We're still going to do it. I really want to do it. Like I think it'll be fun. But obviously COVID-19 happened. That would started. We've done maybe 2 of the challenges, and then the lockdown happened, and we had to stop. And then I don't know what's happening with his fight and my fight. We need to kind of be off out of camp to be able to do the kind of stuff that we're wanting to do. So uh, we're just gonna have to wait. But it definitely will happen. Although he still, before we get into another bet, he still has to do the last bet that he still hasn't done. Obviously, I got my hair dyed pink, and he got his eyebrows dyed pink. And the rule was that you weren't to touch your eyebrows or your hair for the next month. And 2 days later, he came down to Dublin, and he had fucking cut his like trimmed his eyebrows down to the bottom, so it was just brown again. So he has a forfeit to do that he hasn't done yet before we do any more bets.
Is it going to be a forfeit then for a tattoo of you in his leg?
I feel that should be it, but he won't do it.
Do you think obviously the crack and banter and stuff he's have sometimes probably obviously Tyrone last time out obviously lost the Ryan Walsh. Do you think that'll obviously help him recover quicker, knowing that obviously nothing's really changed?
Yeah, to be honest, I don't. Obviously, boxing's a big part of our lives, but it's not just our lives. Like we enjoy the crack, we enjoy doing other stupid shit, obviously, constantly, and I think that does take your mind off things. It take even not never mind winning or losing. It takes your mind off camp. It takes your mind off if you've got a fight coming up or what's happening. If there's a bit of messing going on, there's a bit of dares and laughing. It takes your mind off boxing. You can't be thinking about boxing 24/7, or you'll drive yourself insane. So yeah, it's a good thing to pass the day and relax you and make you enjoy life.
Definitely is, because obviously it's a short life sometimes, and obviously boxing it's not a career for life as well. So
like if you were super serious and just diet and boxing and recover and all this, like, you'd be so bored. Life's not worth it. I mean, you have to have a bit of enjoyment. And I think that kind of stuff breaks up camping and makes you enjoy stuff.
I think I think today is potentially MTK's 8th birthday.
That is indeed.
I think I've seen Stephen Ward putting up something today to say it was an 8th anniversary. Recently, obviously, I know Jamie's taken a lot of praise, moving into the management side of things and obviously moving up through the ranks. Do you think Jamie's influence of obviously moving into fire management is built MTK stronger the last couple of years?
100%. I think Jamie's done an unbelievable job. I mean, Jamie's my manager personally as well, so I love working with Jamie. Any problems I have, I'm straight on. He's straight back to me. I'm delighted, and I don't know what he does internally with everyone else or what way it is, but with myself, my relationship with him, it's unbelievable, and I think he's done an unbelievable job. I always knew he'd be good at that kind of job. Obviously, I was in camp with him. He always had his head screwed on. He's always very smart that way. So I knew I'd be a very good asset to the MDK, and I think he's proven that. I
Definitely.
mean,
He always talks boxing very well as well.
what is he now? He's vice.
Vice
What
president.
is he?
I
Vice
think.
president. Like he's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So he obviously is doing a great job, and they obviously think he's doing a great job to give him vice presidency. So for Foxton, he's flying.
Yes, and obviously the fight with O'Hara Davies is obviously putting him and Lee together. Obviously Lee manages O'Hara.
Yeah,
So I think Lee said he was sitting in the fence with his decision, but Jamie will be bagging you 100%.
100%. Jimmy's a legend. I mean, Jimmy. I mean, I was to say we've known each other since I don't know what age. Very young anyway. So I'm sure he will be back at me, and obviously he probably won't be able to say, but I know in the back of his head he'd want McKenna to win.
And be pretty similar styles, obviously, to yourself and Jamie. Obviously, he was classified as a Mexican, so he just loved the war. I guess sometimes he's probably the right
That's what
person to tell you not to have a war.
I think that's what happened. I was watching Jamie too much, and I decided, fuck, that seems fun. And next thing I'm in fucking wars getting told. I remember I used to get told he's a second Mexican number two. I used to be buzzing, but he actually he tells me to box more and use my brain more and stuff like that. He leans me the other direction. He says, "Don't be getting in the wars. It's stupid," and he's probably right, but they're enjoyable.
What's your thoughts been on the lockdown shows? Have you been able to watch quite a lot of it, or?
Unbelievable. I mean, I think we've been treated to unbelievable fights. I mean, Tad Cheeseman fight was unreal. All the girls' fights, the three, Katie Taylor, what do you call the other ones? Chantal Cameron and the
Yeah,
other one.
Courtney and Ball, Jonas and Harper, and Taylor and what do you call her?
Yeah,
Pursoon.
So they've been unbelievable. Derek or not Derek Dillian White fight has been unreal. I mean, I think we've been treated to some serious fights, and I think it's because we can't bring in Eastern Europeans that have decent records. So the talent and the prospect has to fight people that wouldn't normally want to fight. They've been pressured into them, and they're like, "Fuck! If I don't take this fight, who knows when I'll be fighting again?" So the Sami are taking these dangerous fights that are making high quality entertainment for us all.
And Irish boxing's obviously been booming with it. With obviously Lewis picking up his first belt. Potty obviously with a 70-second demolition job. Tenny winning the British title. I think out of lockdown, I think Irish boxing's only gained more stature and how great the talent is coming through.
Yeah, I think Ireland is. I don't know, I've always said it. I think it's one of the best boxing nations in the world, and I think that we're only proving it time and time again every time we step in the ring. I think Ireland's just going to get bigger and bigger in the professional. I think in amateur, they're already known as one of the best in the world. I think we're being slapped on in the professional ranks, but we're starting to get notoriety and get people talking about Ireland as a major player in professional boxing.
And I think Paddy Gall spoke the other week, and he said that in the amateur game, there's so many great fighters coming through as well. So it's now great to see that it's transpired into the pros a bit more as well. So the future's looking bright for Irish boxing.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Irish amateurs back in the day, they didn't have a place to go to turn pro. So all our great boxers stayed amateur till they were 33, 34, and then just retired. But now they have an outlet, they have MTK, they have other promotions that our managers didn't go to. So the great amateurs, or the very talented amateurs, are even turning earlier. They're turning at 21. I mean, look at James McGivern. He's lethal. He could have stayed in the Olympics, but he turned pro. So I think we're going to see a lot more of talented fighters turning pro earlier, and it's just going to make Ireland better professional in the professional game.
Definitely, and fingers crossed. Obviously, it keeps going the way that it is, because the last couple of years, whether it's been through MTK or whether it's obviously other boxes with other promotional outfits, everything's going in the right direction, which is fantastic to see.
Yep, that's it. Only ways
Um,
up.
Sort of going back a wee bit to yourself, super lightweight in the UK is obviously buzzing. You've Josh Taylor, unified world champion, Terry Flanagan, former world champion, Jack Carroll finally getting a shot at Ramirez,
Mm.
and obviously Lewis Ritson there as well. So, um, after the golden contract, when you are the winner,
Mm.
I think the talk was that the contract was the top rank. So you're not really going to have to go too far looking for a fight.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, the best in the world is Josh Taylor. He's unified champion. He's unbelievable. Obviously, he's semi top rank, but the talk is he's going to unify it and then move up to
Welterweight.
welterweight. I don't know what weight on there, but welterweight. And so there, I mean, there could be a lot of titles relinquished there. There could be freed up, vacant. So I'm hoping that that does happen, and I can take a fight with someone in America. I'd love to fight in America. My dream is to fight overseas in America, in Las Vegas or Madison Square Gardens for a world title. So I would love to do that. I would love to go over there and hopefully win a world title against an American.
Potentially, obviously, St. Patrick's Day next year. Obviously, when Mick's going to be fighting for his first world title.
That's the dream. That is the dream. St. Paddy's Day, me, Mick, same show, lethal.
Just an Irish invasion of the whole world. Just take over.
Title fight.
You obviously have a friendly face and Stephen Ward obviously appearing in your undercard in a couple of weeks, making his jump up
Yeah.
to cruiserweight. I was sort of talking to him last week and saying, jumping up from 175 to 200 pounds is a crazy jump.
It really is. I think that's mental. There isn't a weight in between that. Like, I don't understand about it now that they're trying to make a waiter. I think they really need to because that's dangerous. I think the weight jump. Um, but I think it's a right move for Stephen Ward. I mean, he's really struggled to get down that light heavy, and you could see it on him. You could see he was struggling, and I think he looks completely different at cruiserweight. He looks massive. He looks healthy. He looks like a different man. So I'm excited to see what he's like, and obviously he'll be enjoying boxing more, being able to. I mean, he still has to lose a good bit of weight to make cruiserweight. So I don't know how he made the weight below. I really don't. But yeah, I'm excited to see what way his career goes with the cruiserweight because I think it's a very very smart move, and it is always good to see a friendly face in the card with me. I wonder will he be saying he's headlining this show as well?
I think he may be. I think he probably hoping to be on probably first or second, so he can relax and obviously watch what's coming.
Okay. That's it.
Sort of want to leave it. Obviously, touching on O'Hara. You sort of said that it was probably going to be easy to train for because everybody knows what he does.
Yeah.
Is O'Hara sort of you can't really look if you looked at the fight with McCarthy. I think he threw 3 punches. So in a way where he's easy to train for, but also means you need to stay switched on for the whole time as well.
Yeah, I think that is the thing. I need to stay switched on. I mean, I'm not going to lie to myself and say he doesn't punch hard. The man has devastating power, so I'm going to have to be switched on, smart, all 3 minutes of every round for 10 rounds, and but I also believe that I'm faster than him. I think of better boxing IQ, better footwork, better footwork. Like I'm just all around every single department. I'm better than him at bar par. He has more power than me, yes, but power doesn't win your fights, and I believe I'm going to be too skilled and also I don't even know if he believes he's going to beat me. He knows, like over the years, he's been calling me bum this, bum that. And then once it gets closer to him, I'm actually fighting him. He quietens down. He becomes humble OD because he don't want to look like a fool.
And,
So, well,
and he sort of I think was it before the draw, where he was, before the quarterfinals, he was saying, "Oh, I'm going to pick you, blah blah blah," and then he had the opportunity and didn't do it.
No, didn't do it. Although I don't blame him. I know that was a smart move. Like, I mean, boxing is a business at the end of the day, and you do want to get to the finals the easiest way possible. And I believe he done the smart choice there. But it does show you the characteristics of him. I mean, he said the whole way lead up to the semifinals, if I get blue ball, I'm picking you, or gold ball, whatever it was, I'm picking you, I'm picking you. And I said, right, sweet, I'll pick you as well. And he got it. And showed that he didn't live up to. He doesn't have that much confidence in himself. If he knew he was going to beat me easy, he'd have picked me. So he knows I'm a tough fight, and he wanted to get to the finals easier.
And he sort of gave you a sort of harder task, and obviously having to beat Mamoon to come through. So in terms of preparation, you've been well prepared coming through opponent twice.
I mean, Mamoon was a tournament favorite. He's an unbelievable fighter. He was top rank number 9 in the world. So the experience I've gained from that fight as well, to bring into the final, I think he's had 2 easy fights to get in the final. I've had the tougher opposition. I'm more ready for this fight than he is. Even if I hadn't had this fight, or that fight, I'd still been better. As I say, I always say, even if he's trained by Angelo Dundee, it wouldn't matter. I've always got the beatings of O'Hara Davies. I always believe I've got the beatings of O'Hara Davies, and I'm going to prove it on September 30th.
And then obviously another fight camp under Pete Taylor as well, which means you can master the plan more.
The last time I had 8 weeks with Pete Taylor, and you've seen semi improvements where we're using my feet more and jab more. Now I've got 8 months under the belt with Pete Taylor. I'm a completely different fighter.
Anything else you'd like to add to the interview? I know you've always been quite busy with him today, so we want to give you some time to yourself.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
But listen, obviously all the best with the fight. 18 days time. Fingers crossed. Obviously everything goes your way, and obviously no cuts or anything else, and you get to pick up that golden contract.
Thank you very much.
All right, cheers, Tron. Take care.
Cheers.